Yes, them here. This is Boom Boom, aka World Boom, the Billboard selector. And I represent for Ryan LFC. To get the latest Reggae Boyz content, just hit that like and subscribe button. And the Operation Ball Game, I say, knock it, Ryan.
Okay, my mic is muted. All right, all right. Sorry about that, guys. We had the last show. I didn't get to finish the show how we wanted to finish the show. Hold on. Let me just drop this in the group. Let me just drop the live in the group right now. Yes. Got a win. A look ahead. Reggae Boyz record. Yes, guys. Sorry about that. Like I had to end the stream abrupt the first time. Maybe we can turn off a light, but make it a little darker. So too dark. Yeah. So what we say? January 20th. And guys, listen. People are saying JTL, I have to watch mine top of them sue you up on YouTube. Listen, guys. There is something that's called freedom of information, especially surrounding sports. If for a coach to actually sue someone for their opinion or defamation of character, it has to be where we actually do and say things that hinders the coach from getting another job, which I don't think we did that on. We are just fans and we're stated like every football team, so shy, all the top coaches around the world, them get it. If you're not perform, fans, we're just gonna deal with you accordingly. I said what I had to say about as far as Tupper. And some people seem offended. There's people said that some people say, "Yo, man, Tupper did friend and them not treat Tupper well." Dog, we don't care. We said what we have to say on here. That's YouTube. We taking no prisoners when it comes to performance and when it comes to coach. Just like as I said, Paul Hall. We're supporting Paul Hall 100%, but Paul Hall is also not immune from the wrath of the Jamaican fans. It's all about results, guys. It's a result-driven game. That's what football is. It's results. If you can't provide the results, the fans will get on you. You will be tortured. You will be dealt with accordingly. So when it comes to results, as I'm saying, some people are saying, "Yo, if you make the man getting money, dog, if man forget it, dog, we don't care what you." I said what I had to say. I don't care how you feel because you know Tupper. That's your business. That's your. I don't care. I don't care if you wash plate for the Reggae Boyz or you wander around the Reggae Boyz. It's our team. We pay the light bill when we turn on for we TV too and watch the Reggae Boyz them lose. Just because that's your friend, we're not gonna feel like we need to say things to make you feel better. And we said he's one of our worst coaches. It's there. The stats is there. It's 7 points from 8 games. But moving forward, moving along, guys. Remember to just like the video. We're just kicking off the stream. We haven't talked much about football. There's been a lot happening. Players on the move. Damian Lowe. I hear people are saying that Damian Lowe is wanted in England, guys. Damian Lowe, Damian Lowe would struggle right now to even start in the championship, bro. Damian Lowe just haven't improved. Damian Lowe was a player that was ranked highly. I Damian Lowe was a draft pick, I think. I don't know if he was in the super draft but I remember Damian Lowe was a good defender coming out of university in the US. I think our top three draft picks is has been Darren Mattocks, Andre Blake, a number one. Darren Mattocks, I think, was a height, maybe number two, and then Damian Lowe. These guys were highly rated prospects. Andre Blake is the only one who basically lived up to expectations. Darren Mattox is in the USL, which it said that he will be out of a contract shortly. He was a high draft pick. He was at Vancouver Whitecaps. I remember his first season he came on, he was lighting it up. He was playing very well, but he didn't improve. He didn't improve, and now he's in the USL. Similarly to Damian Lowe. Damian Lowe was a player with high. It was a high ceiling on Damian Lowe, but he just didn't. He didn't. He maxed out in the wrong direction. And you see, there's this thing, whenever you are a football player and you start moving from league to league and you start end up at some league all in a Vietnam and Sudan and some place like that, your career is going in the wrong direction, bro. Anytime you start end up in leagues in like Egypt or Tunisia or some place down in Serbia, Slovenia, your career is not going in the right direction, guys. We have to just be honest. How many players we know actually end up in those leagues and make it back out to become stars? Name me a few, especially Jamaican players. Name me the Jamaican players who end up in the Egyptian League or the K League. Even though we know the K League, Vietnam, those leagues are good. In Japan, good league. Korea, yeah, good league. But there are these different pathways to the bigger clubs in Europe, and it's not through Asia. Belgium is one of the routes. You can go through Belgium. You go to Germany. You go to France. Austria, maybe, because Leon Bailey went to Genk. Um, but there are certain routes. It's just like you're trying to get from point A to point B. You don't need to go to Asia to travel to Europe. So when you start traveling in that direction, your career is not going in the right direction. So right now, Damian Lowe being coming out of, and that looked like a messy situation. It looked like that didn't work out properly. I'm looking forward to hear from Paul Hall very soon. I think game day is coming up. How many days? How many days to go? As well, Mark Chambers said, them league their retirement league. Make them know Mark Chambers. When you start end up in a them league there, your career is not heading in the right direction, bro. Um, that's the thing, I say this stuff on YouTube that people don't want to hear. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Show me the player from Jamaica that end up in those leagues. Shamar Nicholson was one of the few players that end up in was it Slovenia? Was it Slovenia? Then Belgium, and now he's heading back to Russia. And I said it's a peculiar situation that Shamar Nicholson is in. I'm telling people, I'm saying it. I'm rooting for Shamar Nicholson, but this he's at an important juncture in his career because you don't fail in Russia and go up. You fail in Russia and go down. That's the only thing why I'm scared. But I think if it happens for him and he plays very well, the reward he will be rewarded. But I'm just is it the Iron Curtain they call those that area, Siberia and those places? It's tough places to play football, Tough places to play football. They love you when you just show up, but hey, when you're not banging in the goals, the love will be returned in a certain manner that you might not like. Looking forward to Shamar Nicholls' first game. Yesterday, they unveiled his jersey, his uniform. It was looking fresh, looking clean in Russia. Talk to me. What's happening with Tyreek McGee? You're right, JT. I believe the player don't see themselves in those leagues. That's why they don't go so far. It's a fact. Even the Malta League, Kyle. That's what's holding back a player like Martin Davis. Look at Martin Davis who went to Valencia. I remember, I remember it like yesterday watching TVJ Sports, and Martin Davis was one of the players chosen to go to Valencia on a summer camp. Bro, you don't go to Valencia on a summer camp. He was young, however, and you play in Malta, and then you end up in the Premier League. Oh my God, that's a tough path. to me, Martin Davis would be better off in the MLS right now. If Martin Davis manager should try to get him in the MLS. But I fear that Martin Davis might end up in the USL at best. Unless his manager pulls off a miracle, he might ends up in the USL at best. Because when you spend that amount of time in Malta, time is burning up on you, bro. It's Malta, man. It's Malta. It's Malta. Um, another player, another player that Tyreek McGee. Even though Tyreek McGee is not getting a lot of playing time, I rather Tyreek McGee being on the bench right there in Belgium. To be honest, because he's one step away from making a better move. Tyreek McGee is on the verge of, if he moves, I just don't want him to end up on this side of the water like in the USL. I rather Tyreek McGee stays in Belgium and develop. I can see him potentially hopping over to Holland. And listen, if Junior Flemings can end up in the French second division, I think Tyreek McGee. There's hope for Tyreek McGee. Another person that this Peru game is gonna be very important for is Kahim Paris. Kahim Paris is gonna be important because Kahim Paris he's due for a move. He's due for a move. Kyle said Tyreek just need to go extra, bro. Tyreek McGee needs to work harder off the football. He needs to tackle more. He has to work much harder off the football. We can all agree, bro. Tyreek McGee gives you nothing off the football. Tyreek McGee has to understand that his position is not played in that old school manner where you had that midfielder, those Riquelmes and those guys in the midfield, those luxury player who doesn't work much off the football. Those days are over, bro. Especially with now the era of press. You hear everybody talking I know about press, press, press. Can you press with a Tyreek McGee? How does Tyreek McGee fits into a team that presses? I would like to know, guys. I don't know, Kyle. Are they playing some kind of press at Tyreek McGee's club? Is it why he's not out there? Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're implementing the press and he's not working hard off the football. That's something I need to look into because we know the player has the skill. Everybody would agree that Tyreek McGee not getting on the pitch, I think, comes down to him not working hard enough off the football. Kahim Paris. I'm looking forward to seeing Kahim Paris in the game against Peru because Kahim Paris is a player where I think there's a low expectation around this player, but watching clips on him, he looks quite clinical to me in front of goal. To be honest, since schoolboy football days, I haven't seen Kahim Paris and those guys in a big game. He looks clinical to me after football. He looks like a player to look out for in that Peru game. I think he's a player who can potentially score for Jamaica. I also want to see a player like Jardine Fletcher. I really want to see Jardine Fletcher because Jardine Fletcher is the opposite of Kahim Paris. To me, Jardine Fletcher just reminds me of Ricardo Fuller. Can beat players, get in front of the box, and just make that big kick over the goal. Like you remember how Fuller can do the hard work, um, and just do the hard work and just miss that shot. That's how I see Jardine Fletcher. Um, Jardine Fletcher is Jardine Fletcher is a player that I'm looking forward to see. Um, Busy Atkinson, and I'm happy for Junior Flemings. 'Cause you remember, when I came on YouTube, I said to people that I thought that Junior Flemings was better than the USL. I said that if Junior Flemings started to make if Junior Fleming started to make better decisions when he had the ball in front of goal, he would become a fine player because his speed is unmatched. but sometimes that speed get him a bit carried away. I'm really happy to see him in France. France wasn't a place that I thought he would have ended up, but that was a big move because I think his club is numbers. I think his club is second in the second division actually. So they are on the they are on the fringe of potentially qualifying for the I don't know how it works in France if it's an automatic qualification. Um, if it's an automatic qualification. I'm confused on the Tyreek assessment. I've never watched in a pressing system because there was no pressing in Jamaica games. I'm talking about Karim Paris as far as his club, Tyreek McGee's club. I'm saying not Jamaica. Obviously, Jamaica didn't press. What is this? Foreign Spider. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I wanted to ask what system they play at his club. I don't get to watch a lot of games of because Tyreek McGee isn't playing, so I'm not gonna watch his team play while he's on the bench. When I'm watching leagues outside of the English Premier League or the La Liga, it's because a Jamaican is playing, bro. I'm not just watching random football games. I don't love it that much to watch a bunch of guys I don't know and I don't support. So yeah, I don't know what they play at his club. That's what I'm trying to say. Is it that they're playing a pressing system as far as high press trying to get the football back and Tyreek Magee isn't giving you that off the football while he's not playing at his club because we know he has the technical abilities. So that was what my question is. Kyle said Toulouse is very good club. Would love to see Flemings make it to the make it to a world class winger. I don't know if what age is Junior Flemings? Okay. I didn't know that Junior Flemings is that old. He's about 28 or something, right? That right? Okay. Foreign Spider said, okay, only because I thought you said he couldn't play in a pressing system. No. I'm not saying that, Foreign Spider. I don't watch Tyreek Magee enough at his club to say that. And I think that Tyreek Magee, with his build, his body structure, he should be a perfect player to play in a pressing system. I think for Tyreek Magee, it's more of a mental thing. Somebody has to wake him up and let him know you have to work harder off the football. It's not. I think Tyreek Magee treats his position. Maybe he came up in the last part of that era, a style of football where his position was a luxury position where people around you. And I think that's what happened to him in Jamaica. Players won the football and they then build up play through him. That doesn't work anymore. Play is being built up with wing backs now. A lot of teams are doing more attacking with their wing backs. So so players like Tyreek Magee in the middle of the park has to work as hard as anybody. Yes, see, Mark Chambers said Tyreek playing style is old fashioned. He need to train his lungs and so yeah to survive in the modern uh, Chambers. You get what I'm saying? This is why Manchester United is struggling. People don't understand a lot of the players at Manchester United is that old style of play. Is that old style of play and Ralph is trying to get this new idea of the 4-2-2 press into these guys and it's just I think that Swedish guy what's the Swedish winger name? He came on the other night for Manchester United Elanga or something like that. He's from Sweden. That's the player that they need to give more playing time at Manchester United. He looks like a player who can handle the press. Um, but I think Ralph is a bit. I think he's to me, bro. Sorry that I'm segueing from one thing to another. I think Cristiano Ronaldo is a bad idea at Manchester United. He just throws off that team. Him and Bruno Fernandes, they just throw off that team. It's terrible to watch. Chelsea, one of my favorite defenders to watch right now is Rudiger. Oh my God, that player is amazing. That's the player that Damian Lowe should have mirrored his game off. Rudiger. Him and Damian Lowe had the same body structure, but that player is so good at making passes. Like Rudiger plays in a way where sometimes you wonder if he's a right back or he's if he's a left back. Like if he's like he doesn't. Sometimes he plays his position not like a center back. Like that player is a hybrid, man. That player is no joke. Big up yourself, Rudiger. I feel like we can't judge most of the Jamaican players based on how they play for. I agree with you, bro. Agree. We can't judge the Jamaican players like it's just too chaotic. Our team wasn't organized enough for us to say we were playing a system and the players are not performing in a specific way. That's why I said specifically for Spider, I asked about at their club. 'Cause remember, and as I said, for Jamaica we get Boza. Boza plays for Jamaica and Shamar Nichols plays for Spartak. Two different players. Shamar Nichols plays for his club and Boza plays for Jamaica because it's a scrappy ball game thing. It's just like a unorganized where I think that's one of the oh man. To me, guys, the Peru game is almost more important for me than the Mexico game. I really want to see what Paul Hall is trying to do. I really want to see what Paul Hall is trying to do in that Peru game. I really want to see how he sets up and comes out there because I seen people were writing earlier that Jamaica will pick up 10 and I don't think we'll get 10, bro. I don't think we're getting 10. The most the most Peru can beat Jamaica is by 3 goals. And I think we have players who can hurt them as well. I think if Paul Hall sets up this team in a fearless way, where players are forced to play a specific way, I think we can get a result. Actually, I think we can draw that game. The Germans engineer the best everything, even their football players. But you're right about comparison of Damian Lowe and Rudiger. Yeah, he's the like the same body structure, the same way he chased the football. It's just his IQ, bro. And Rudiger, he has this pass where he makes for like 20 to 30 yards out of defense through the midfield on the ground. Like I'm like, whoa. You can see that that was something he developed as a young player in Germany. Every time he passes the ball, I could see a German coach drilling him and telling him like, yo, with your body, with your physique, you can do this. Because one of Rudiger's strong point to me is his passing. I know he's a good defender, but his passing, bro, he does this thing that Michael Hector tried to do when Michael Hector came to play for Jamaica. Michael Hector used to try those long passes on the ground through the midfield, but Michael Hector isn't as accurate as a Rudiger. Rudiger is so accurate with those passes on the ground. I never seen it before. It's a player where I'm like, holy shit. And that's why Chelsea builds up play so fast a lot of times with Rudiger because he skips that. He's Rudiger helped Chelsea to skip maybe 4 or 5 passes to get the ball to his attacking players. Sometimes it's just 2 passes. One pass is from the center back to him, and boom, he hits it through the midfield on the ground. And the difference with him and Damian Lowe is Damian Lowe kick it in the air and create a 50-50 ball where Jamaica end up losing the football. That's the difference. And I think as a football player, that's one thing you have to do. You have to find a player that you mirror your game off. Look at what they do well. Been watching the African Nations Cup. It's hard to watch. They've been playing some terrible football. It look like Jamaica. It's like watching Jamaica playing all over again. Man, nah lie. The Afghan Cup it's hard to watch as well, man. The man them wild. They just wild, bro. Like Nigeria played a really good game yesterday. They should have scored at least 3 goals. They were they they surprised me though against Egypt. They had Egypt. They balled the hell out of Egypt, but they can't score. The, One of the few teams that I think in the African Nations Cup right now that I saw putting the football on the ground was actually Cameroon. Cameroon, they have a lot of weakness in their defense, but they put the ball on the ground and pass the ball. They look like a good team. Senegal, they're going strictly off speed and agility. It's like, man, it's hard to watch, bro. Like for me, bro, I can't stomach watching this wild football anymore, where how African players play and Jamaican players just kick the ball and run wild. It's just not entertaining, bro. It's just like a 50-50 ball, like kick it and run. Like football is not there anymore, bro. You need players who can keep the football on the ground, follow a game plan, make passes, and get the football to your strikers. So it's competitive. When you look at the African players, look how they must sweat within like 10 minutes in the game because all they're doing is running, bro. They're just running. It's hard to watch. Like, man, not lie. It's like it's hard to watch, man. We need they I don't know. I couldn't sit down and watch the whole thing. Right now, I'm just picking the games that I want to watch. Um, Sierra Leone, they got a good result yesterday by drawing the game against Algeria, the defending champions. That was a surprise. Everybody thought that they would have picked up six. They irked out a good result, which was good. That's good. They got a good result. Can't blame them for that scrappy game yesterday. But yeah, back to the Jamaica Reggae Boys. They said Peter Lee Vassell is signed again in the USL. It's like, come on. They actually had this on TVJ News, guys. I'm like, are these things newsworthy? Like, Peter Lee Vassell moves again in the USL. Like, like, come on, dude. Is this like the biggest news coming out of Jamaican football right now? It just tells you, dog, we need more players on the move. We need more players on the move, dog. We need more moves like Junior Flemings, like what happened with Junior Fleming. But everybody kind of knew that Junior Flemings would have, if it wasn't that little thing that happened with Junior Flemings, he would have moved after that season because he had a lights out season. He had an amazing season. He scored a lot of goals, but he wasn't moving, dog. Um, Kyle, let me know which player you're looking out for, guys. Let me know in the chat which players are you guys looking out for in the Peru game. Um, which players are you guys looking for a good performance from that could potentially come over into the main team against Mexico? Because we know that Haka is not gonna be there. Because I think Ian was saying that Haka got two yellow cards already, so that's a spot that's open already. That's a guarantee open spot already for a new player coming in. Leon Bailey potentially. I don't know if Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey always seems to get fit for Jamaica games. I don't know. I don't know. If Leon Bailey is not there, then that's another open spot. If Alvas Paul is not there, that's another open spot. Will Junior Flemings accept a call up now that he's at a new club? Hmm, interesting. I'm looking forward to see Demar Gray for Mexico. Okay, you're looking forward to see Demar Gray. I'm talking about the Peru game. I think Kyle, everybody's looking forward to see Demar Gray, bro. Everybody, that's like a no-brainer. I'm saying from the Peru game, which player are you looking for to make that jump, to make to have a good enough performance that will actually get them into the first team? You know? Because there's a few players that we would love to see. Still think we need some. I still think we'll need another winger. Um, as I said, I would like to see Busy Atkins to get a good performance because I love what he does. He reminds me a little bit of Mason Greenwood, just a little bit. Uh, Mason Greenwood, the- where how Mason Greenwood cuts in front of the 18, coming from an angle. That's what I see from Atkinson. And for me, he has an eye for the goal. Whenever he's like around the goal, he has an eye for the goal, and I notice he's playing with both feet. So I like that because I've seen him done something like spectacular in the last JPL season where he was in a tight spot in the 18-yard box where it was almost impossible to get a shot off, and he got a shot off on his left foot. And in that position, the defender was expecting that the only way the player could have shoot was off the right. And he got a shot off. And I was like, whoa, that was unique. That was special because you see those kind of players who are of that the short built, those players can, I don't know if it's the center of gravity, they can cause a lot of problems for you. Those kind of players. It's a friendly, so I think Haka can play. I want to see Jamal Topi and Dwayne Atkins. All right. I don't think Jamal Topi is ready right now. I would even bring back a Michael Hector before I bring in Jamal Topi. I think Jamal Topi needs to develop a bit more because of a defender. If he was in a more attacking position, then I would understand. But I think he, based on me watch what I see with him, he needs to be a little bit more physical, especially with his body size. He needs to be a little bit more physical. I think he has a little more way to go. Jamal Topi, because people, you gotta understand, defenders, oh, Chong, Akwasa Trong, yeah, from Harborview, right? That player, they said that player. I haven't seen that player much. I've seen him in like one game, Chong. So I'm looking. This will be the first. It's gonna be interesting to see who starts that game for Jamaica. Actually, it's gonna be interesting because I think the persons who start that game is gonna have to just be players who prove themselves in training. You basically have 3 days to prove yourself in training. Outside the Damian Lowe and those guys who are the automatic starters, every spot is up for grabs. And I hope to God that we don't have a Miller in goal. But if we don't get Miller, we're gonna end up with Jadine White. Personally think Jadine White is yeah, Jadine White isn't ready as yet, man. I understand that they won the JPL, but I think Jadine White, his awareness, his reflex is very slow. He has to work on that. He has to work on his reflex. He just looks he react his reaction speed is very slow, and so I think he has to get that right. Foreign Spider said Jamaican squad Dwayne Miller, JD in White. Okay, blah blah. Oh, this is the people that this is the guys you want to start. Okay, so you're not starting Atkinson, or is this? Oh, this is the entire squad. Oh, you just call. I thought you were naming your starting lineup. This is the entire squad. That's who they called up. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know the squad already. Foreign Spider. No, that's who they call up. Me know the squad already, man. I was saying who Howell. I hear a few people talk about the guy Howell. I don't know anything about him. So that's the good thing, bro. We don't want to miss any players. We don't want those players to be sitting in Jamaica and they have the potential to play and they're not getting the opportunity. You see what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to these young guys getting an opportunity. So we can get rid of the Magnificent Six. I see somebody coming a while ago and say name them say the Magnificent Seven fan club. And one man said low. I said low. I don't know if he was saying low or low off a top and name youth. Yo, isn't this funny, dog? Jamaica is like the only team where you can't scrutinize the coach for getting bad results. People are start getting at them feelings and want to get some bad man style on you. Yo, a football we talk about, bro. I don't respond. Any coach go out there and start stinking up the joint, them are gonna hear about it, dog. Just like I said, we don't want Winfred Schaefer around the team anymore. I don't want Winfred Schaefer as the coach. I don't want to go back to that Winfred Schaefer style of football. Winfred Schaefer don't make substitution either. Winfred Schaefer is terrible at substitution. He doesn't like making substitution. That was one of his main problems when he was coaching Jamaica. Don't want to see that guy around the team. I don't care if he's German. He's not cut from the. He's not the type of. He's a German coach, but he did a lot of coaching in Africa, dude. That guy was coaching in Africa. I think he even coached Cameroon or one of those countries at one point. Winfred Schaefer is not the answer, dog. I rather some other young coach. We don't want Winfred Schaefer again. Like we don't want that old style of no substitution. Like dog, you're not playing well halftime with sub your dog. You're not performing halftime. You're off the pitch. No long talking. Just go hold off the bench and evaluate your game and get better for the next game. We don't want to watch Jamaica with players out there where we are hope the thing to work in 70 minutes and we're done. Winfred Schaefer, no, no way. We don't want Winfred Schaefer as the coach. Please, we don't want Winfred Schaefer as the coach. I hope the JFF don't make that mistake again. He's not the answer. He's not. We don't want him around the team, and they had that big money problem when he left the team. Like, bro, let's just move on, bro. Paul Hall, thank God for Paul Hall. Paul Hall, you're a breath of fresh air, bro. And I think Paul Hall comes with a lot of opportunities for young players. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody sent me a video today of like the player from Phoenix. Is he like 15 or 16? What's his name? Something Whisper. He's banging in goals in England. He's banging in goals in England. So he's young. So I don't even know. They said there's no under 17 football coming up for Jamaica anytime soon, right? Is the under 20s should be playing this year. So there's no under 17. So is he ready for under 20 call up? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what age. Well, it depends on who. Guys, let me know. Would you also allow Paul Hall to coach the under 20s? Because if development is one of Paul Hall's attributes, would you allow him to coach the under 20s? Because I would do that. I would give him an opportunity to coach the under 20s as well. I don't see keep it all in house, and then in that way, with Paul Hall coaching the under 20, he can then build up a style of play and a structure to have players graduate into the senior team, because it doesn't make sense we're playing a certain way at the under 20, and when you get to the senior level you're playing a totally different way anyways. So unless we're gonna have Paul Hall, and one of the things that Rudolph Speed spoke about was he wanted a few pro license coach that they can then train the other B license coach to become pro. Paul Hall being a pro license coach, let him apply his methods and maybe implement his way of apply his way of coaching. So Paul Hall is the man for the job. Paul Hall is the man for the job. But yeah, not much is right now. It's just January transfer window. It's just mostly players on the move right now. African Nation Cup. Not much happening in the Jamaican football sphere. Just a few players moving around the USL. That's not moving the needle. Damian Lowe just left Egypt. Same old story. David Davis, they said he's coming in. He's the Lord and Savior of the CDM position. Will he be that as such? I don't know. You know what I mean? David Davis. I'm just still disappointed when I heard the President Ricketts said that Jordan Cousin had his passport a long time ago from the Gold Cup, and the man um still no Joey Dessart, guys. We don't know what happened with that. I think maybe we have to go just low that Joey Dessart thing there. Don't seem like they're fond of him or giving the young man a call up. It would have been an personally, I think he's just not on the radar. I think he's just not on the radar of the right people who needs to call him up for the team. What is the deal with coming? What is the deal with Louis Baker? Why no club coming in? Louis, for me, bro, Louis Baker is a bit overrated. Coach Karoom, Louis Baker is overrated, bro. For me, Louis Baker is overrated. It's just some people on YouTube just hype up Louis Baker because they say he has Jamaican heritage, but like in the largest scheme of things, Louis Baker is way down the pecking order in his position. Louis Baker, it's just in the Jamaican diaspora, people are going crazy, bro. Louis Baker is a player where he kind of miss. his development, he kind of underdeveloped. Like he kind of missed the mark. I think he should have been a way further along, Coach Karumi. So I'm not buying this thing that Louis Baker is just the answer. I think there's so many other players. There's even youth players who I think are a little bit better than Louis Baker at this point. But well, hey, these YouTube scouts know better than I do. Actually, they think Louis Baker is the man for the job. I guess he's the man. So I can't argue with that. But from what I'm seeing, I'm just like, yeah, Louis Baker is Louis Baker. He's not the Lord Jesus Christ of how I hear people talking about it, bro. When you look at top players, bro, when you look at top players at their position, bro, when you look at top players at their position, you have to look at certain teams, certain marquee teams, bro. De Bruyne, Man City in the midfield. Come back to Salah. Salah is like the new type of striker. Salah and Mane is like the new type of striker. One of the few old school strikers is like Cavani at Manchester United. He's your old school prototype striker, back to goal, do all the dirty work, and just wait for that one opportunity to score. When you look at Manchester United, they don't have a out. It's like, they have these hybrid players. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a out and out striker. People have to remember when Cristiano Ronaldo came to Manchester United as a teen, he was a winger. He was a guy bombing down the wing, cutting in, plotting over the football and shoot. Is because Cristiano Ronaldo bulk up a bit more, got bigger. He started to dominate and he played striker. When you look on out and out striker, Lukaku, that's another out and out striker. He doesn't give you anything anywhere else on the pitch. He's just an out and out striker. You know what I mean? Look at Sterling. Sterling played even striker for England at one point. You know what I mean? Those are those new age kind of players. Salah, Mane, who's another one now? Who's this other one? So what's his team? Yeah, there's a couple more of them. There's a couple more of those guys, but football has changed, bro. You know what I mean? Football has changed. It's not it's hybrid players they're going for, and they're going for hybrid players at each position. That's one Basaka at Manchester United. He's struggling because he's very one dimensional. He's very good on defense, but he gives you nothing going forward. He's one of the hardest players to beat on defense, but he gives you nothing going forward. So you're gonna see a lot of those players are gonna be on the move. When you go to Crystal Palace, Asaha, he's he's not your typical striker. You know what I mean? Teams are not going off typical strikers anymore, dude. I have to say though, it's not just in the Jamaica football team. Midfield, finding good midfielders is a problem worldwide. Manchester United right now, they're trying to get what's this guy name from the guy from Switzerland, Shakiri. He's just coming off an injury. Central defender, central midfielder. A lot of clubs, they like, I don't know. It's like we're not producing midfield. Is it a thing where the game has changed to a point where midfielders are no more important, and it's the type of midfielders? Because it's never been a time in football where they've been this short on midfielders. Because nowadays midfielders are like strikers, man. So Jamaica is not the only problem, the only country having problem with midfield. I don't know what's happening. Like a lot of clubs, they're looking for a good midfielder. Foreign Spider say it's a hard position to play. Like, I guess, bro, is it that players are not understanding the game, or what is it? Like, I remember the days of like the Davis, the Sadov, the Overmars, and it's like we used to have top mid. That's just one team. The Dennis Ramadal, like we used to we never used to be short of midfielder. Ronaldinho, the Kakas. It was just a lot of midfielders. Every team you could look, you could find. But no, it's just all the leagues. It's like midfield, midfield, midfield. Everybody's like, we're trying to fit up, to shore up the midfield. It's like that's crazy. So is it that we're just producing defenders and strikers, but we're not getting those midfielders, the Riquelmes, like those kind of midfielders anymore? Um, Coach Karumi said, Taylor, you can have all the midfielders in the world. If you not have an idea in how you want to play as a coach, you're going to be lost. Yeah, well, that's good. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. So you're saying is it a coaching fall off or is it a midfield? Like the academies are not developed, countries are not developing good midfielders anymore. You need to be able to be good at everything as a midfielder and great at one. Hmm. That's a powerful way to look at it, Foreign Spider. I didn't even thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. That's the thing. Richardson, Eve Richardson at Everton, he's not a striker to me, and sometimes he's playing as a striker. He's to me he's a midfield. Back in the day, he's like a Nelson from Brazil. um um your boy, what's the other Brazilian, Neymar is not a striker. Neymar is a midfielder. But football has changed to a point where midfielders who have certain attributes just become strikers. It's like clubs turn them into strikers for some reason. As soon as a player show you certain things, they just turn them into strikers. Don't know if that's healthy for the game. Don't know if that's healthy for the game. Since the broke up of that Spanish team where it was what is Xavi, all those guys, what is this, Iniesta. It's like that was the last era of that where midfielders impose their will on the game. A lot of passing. That Spanish team was the last team that midfield controlled the entire game, bro. Like those teams, that Spanish team, you just needed one good striker. You just needed one good striker. No, based on the type of strikers, you need like two or three good midfielders. That's how crazy the game is now. The game has totally flipped around now where your midfielders is when you look at Pulisic, I don't even think Pulisic, he's overrated at Chelsea. I think this is his last season at Chelsea. I can see that the coach is trying to find a way to implement him in that Chelsea team. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit at Chelsea. He might end up at a Southampton or Watford or Newcastle. Pulisic, I can guarantee this is his last season at Chelsea. Taylor, the modern day midfielder have to be complete. The modern midfielder has to be an athlete, have to be more box to box. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really weird. And you know what, Coach Karomi, why midfielders has to be more complete now is because especially if you're playing a high back line, your midfielders are not getting enough time on the football. I hear Ralph at Manchester United. He's a football nerd. I'm a football nerd. I love the way he look at football. He said something that I've been saying a long time. You see, when you don't, you see, you can play press, you can play high pressing. This is something I've noticed. You can play high press, but you see, when you get the football back, you have to attack with the same intensity that you won the football with. That's how Chelsea and Liverpool, I notice how they beat you. The same speed and intensity they used to win the football for you from is the same intensity they used to kick the play on right away. That's the difference why Arsenal and Manchester United is struggling. Manchester United is trying to implement the press. When they do win the football, though, they don't attack with the same intensity they got the football with. I realized that, and I'm like, oh crap, you can be a good high press team, but you're not effective after winning the football because then you go back to that just that lackadaisic build up play where you knock it around and you just knock it and it just move and the ball move from side to side very slow. No, Look when Chelsea gets the ball, how quick the ball rotates to the center backs to the wingers. The ball move very quickly. Teams that are struggling to score right now in football, this is what I've noticed. When the center backs have the ball moving from the center backs to your wing backs, it's very slow. I realized that the teams who struggle to score now, I realized that transition play has to be the same intensity where you get the football. That's why even Crystal Palace sometimes looks so good. Is when they get that thing right, where they press, they get the ball in a high intensity manner and turn over very quickly and get their strikers moving. Newcastle, that's why Newcastle can't score. Newcastle gets the ball and they fall asleep. They knock it around and everybody have an ice cream and the next team wins it back. And that's what Manchester City, Lord, oh my God, how did I leave them out? When Manchester City gets the football, they might just win the ball and just score in 2 seconds. It's because the intensity of which they win the football, they don't slow the play down after they get the football, bro. Foreign Spider said, if it's hard for Manchester United to implement the press, can you imagine how hard it will be for Jamaica side to do it? I think we will have to be patient. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the same thing I'm thinking, Foreign Spider. Yeah, so here what? This is why I think the press can work for Jamaica quicker. CONCACAF teams are not that great at defending against the press. If you look at the games, this is why Canada looks so good right now. This is why Panama looks so good. Panama, as I said, Panama has a Scandinavian coach. He's doing the same thing. The intensity that he wins the football with, Panama just when Panama scored at the national stadium. Look what when they took the ball from Ravel Morris in the midfield, Panama scored within 3 seconds of winning the football. And it was a defender who scored because it's the intensity that they won the football with. He didn't win the football and start knock it around. That's the problem that Jamaica had. Jamaica was so not used to having the football that when we do win the football, we try to get some passing just to make up the passing stats. I think Paul Hall is gonna say, listen, when you win the football, these players are gonna be moving already. That's why people misinterpret when Paul Hall says he's gonna put things in play for a Leon Bailey and a Demari Gray. Because Paul Hall knows, brother, for you to be effective on the press, those speedy wingers, you have to get them the ball as quick as you turn the football over. Because when you get the ball to a Leon Bailey or Demari Gray on the wing after winning the ball in their half, think about how much seconds the next team has to reorganize their defense. He knows that to catch a defense out of position, you have to react very quickly when you win the football. You can't just knock it round and make the man them organize back and yeah, look and you see their 4-4-2 is building up and they're getting back in position and you're knocking. No, you have to, when their midfielder defender is out of position, you win the football, it's a rapid turnover. It's a rapid turnover. That's how the press works. You see what I mean? Um, Pagan says it was because of the personnel on the pitch. They were not comfortable with the tiki-taka. And I think, Pagan, I don't think we needed to even play tiki-taka football. We just never had an idea of what we want to do when we have the football, bro. Winning the football is one thing, but when you win the football, what is the game plan? People don't understand. The press is not a defensive mechanism. The press is an attacking mechanism. It means that we're attacking you so much that when we get the football, we are already in attacking mode. Jamaica wasn't playing that. We were playing soak up pressure, 1998 football. I win the football from you. I pass it or kick it long and get it down to your goal. No, the press means I'm going to press you in front of your own goal. And the second I take the ball from you, I can hurt you. It's an attacking mechanism. And I always repeat this on stream. As I said, for me, the best defense is a great offense. I don't believe in defensive football, bro. Because if I score 3 goals and you are not a bet and you're a better team than me, you could be having a bad day and you getting chances in front of the goals and you're not scoring and I still beat you. But if you are a better team than me and you score and I'm a defensive team and I can't score, I can't win. So I believe in scoring first. I believe in my only way is going out there to score, bro. That's just how I see football. I don't see football as this thing where we soak up pressure. No, I believe football is I score on you, and no, you have to score on me, or you score more than me to beat me. That's football. It's not sitting there soaking up pressure, bro. You're just waiting to get beat. You're just daring a team like I dare you to score on me. But if they do score on you, how do you score? Because you can't score. You weren't prepared to score. So I believe in attacking football, bro. And I think that's what Paul Hall brings that I'm looking forward to. I think Paul Hall will bring this, change the mindset. Paul Hall will change the mindset to a more pressing type of football where, and this is why I think that Jamaica can get a result against Peru. I think that's why I said I want to see how Paul Hall sets up the team. Uh, Against Peru, he's gonna only have the players for 3 days, so I don't expect him to come with three at the back. Back three with a group of unknown players. That's risky. That's risky. But what I want to see is I want to see some distance between our 18-yard box and our defensive line. I don't want to see Jamaica just defending on the 18-yard box. The same old, because bro, when you defend so deep, it takes too long to build up play, and you're not gonna have the football in your opponent's half often enough to hurt them. Because as I said, when I looked at the Gold Cup team, we were short on a attacking on midfield players. If the coach had just shrink the field, that's what the press does, you shrink the field. You don't sit back all the way on your 18 and let them come to you and then you have to build up. You shrink the play, so by the time you get back the football, it's split seconds for the next team to organize to defend against. That's what the press does. It's catching you off guard. When I take the football from you, you have seconds to get all your players back in position. Imagine Jamaica gets the ball in the half of Mexico, and your outlet is Leon Bailey and Demari Gray and Mikel Antonio. Think about all the confusion that's gonna cause for the Mexican defense if you're pressing those guys and you win the ball in their half. Mexico has players to now defend who are one, Mikel Antonio. There's none as physical as Mikel Antonio in CONCACAF. Leon Bailey and Demar Gray, potentially the two quickest players in CONCACAF. Imagine what Mexico, this would make Mexico go back in a shell. But if Jamaica sits and play on our own 18-yard box and we play Mexico and give Mexico that respect, we're gonna lose, dude. We're gonna lose because the Mexicans, they are good on the football as well. They're very good on the football. And they will pass it around and they will beat you. But I think if Paul Hall comes with this high press game, I think Mexico should at least lose to Jamaica 2-1 at the stadium. So Paul Hall has basically 7 days to experiment with it. That's what I'm saying. For me, the big game is the Peru game. The practice game is the Peru game. The Peru game is gonna give us an insight into Paul Hall's mindset of how Paul Hall wants to play, how he wants to set up. That's the Peru game. Um, and I'm rooting for some players. I'm rooting for some players. Defenders, Liam Moore, I don't think he's playing that well. I don't even know if Liam Moore, based on how he's playing, if I would start him the next game. Peru too, but Jamaica will play more fluid game. I would accept that. Um, well, the thing is this with Jamaica and the Peru. Jamaica is gonna get opportunities against Peru because Peru doesn't is not gonna respect Jamaica enough to just sit back. They're gonna be all over us. And when a team is all over you, there's gonna be room for you to attack. And when you look on paper, Jamaica has some very quick players getting ready to play against Peru. Jamaica will have opportunities. That's why I said I think a player like Kahim Paris could surprise people in that game, because looking at him and his highlights, he seems to be a player that is clinical in front of goal, and he slides under the radar. He's not the most exciting player, but he's clinical. Go back to Jordan Fletcher. I keep saying Jordan Fletcher reminds me of Ricardo Fuller. He can be 10 players in front of the goal, but him is a likely chance he's gonna kick it away. Um, and that's a player where I think if Paul Hall can just team those players and organize it, man, I think Paul Hall has a fun job. Paul Hall, if I was the coach, I would be excited. I think Paul Hall should be excited. Paul Hall, you have a wealth of players. You have a wealth of players. Oh, okay, more might be out with injury. Okay. Yeah, I think Michael Hector will be back for this game. I can see Michael Hector coming back in the next window. Definitely can see Michael Hector coming back. He's due for a comeback. Bobby Reed, guys. What do you guys feel about Bobby Reed? How do you feel about Bobby Reed, guys? You remember this is Jay Taylor again, who told you guys that Bobby Reed was a bench player for me. I told you guys that Bobby Reed was a player who should come off the bench after the 60th minute. That was in the Gold Cup, and people thought I was crazy. They said Bobby Reed scored the goal of the tournament. And and what else did Bobby Reed do again? Um O'Neal Fisher scored an amazing goal. And I'm just saying, guys, Bobby Reed might look like a better player under Paul Hall, though, because I think if Paul Hall gets to implement his way, I think it matches the style of play that Bobby Reed is used to. Pagan 180 said it's asking a lot for our players to adapt such an aggressive style of play in such a short time. But why not try? If we need to be, yes, that's what I'm saying to you. Pagan, the Peru game is a full blown experiment. The Peru game, the result doesn't matter for me. But if I see that Jamaica can get a result, trust me, I think Paul Hall will walk away and try to get the result. Though Paul Hall might go out there with the press, I think if Paul Hall gets to 70 minutes and he see that he has Peru 0-0 or 1-1, he's going for the result. No coach want to lose their first game. No coach want to lose their first game. Trust me, he will go for the point. But if I what I don't want is him going for the point from the first outset of the game where we just lock up shop. The first no Paul Hall. Even if them score, let's start getting the mindset and the new. Let's start getting a new what you say now, attitude towards scoring goals in the Jamaican team. We're done with this yeah, man. We played good today, but yeah, we just never scored a goal then because well, we didn't get any opportunity to score. So yes, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to three players. I said two players that I think I would want to see make it over into the next. Uh, for me, Busy Atkinson and any other player that the fans choose. I would, if they play well enough, I would like to see them in the team, because I don't think players like Javon East is coming back, guys. Is Javon East in this team? No, there's no Javon East. Oh, Corey Burke is there. Kwasacha. Okay, I don't know who Deshaun Beckford is. Where does Deshaun Beckford plays? Hmm. I'm just looking at Richard King. Richard King did have the call up against Mexico, right? What is it? Ramon Howell. I don't know who is Ramon Howell. I don't know. I don't know what position he plays. So I'm gonna be learning about some new players as well. Somebody has Ramon Howell here. That's a player that I want to see and see how they look on screen. See how they look. Um, Kwasa Chang. Yeah, there's a big hype on that player. There's a big hype on Kwasa Chang. I want to see that. There's a big hype on Kwasa Chang. I want to see what he brings to the table. I want to see what he brings to the table. So everything is set for January 20th. So what is it now? So the game is 8 days away. Shavon, big up yourself, man. A long time winner day on a stream together. One of these days we have to organize where we're on a stream together. Big up yourself, Shavon Peart. Shavon Peart, who is Howell? Because I know you know a lot about these local players. Where does Howell plays? Maybe you can enlighten me. Ramon Howell and two players that I'm not familiar with, and Deshaun Beckford. Deshaun Beckford. Where does those players play? Siobhan, I know you know a lot about those players. What position they play and how is the player? How well is he a player? Is one that we should be looking out for the future? Cause we can't know everything, you know. We can't know everything. So what we don't know, we ask the fans who actually know Guan in Jamaica. So let me know, Siobhan. Because the statistics is just limited on local players to find things about them. Okay. British Guna say Corey Burke is a good player and he will do better under Paul Hall coaching. Yeah, I think so. I think Corey Burke is built for the press. Corey Burke was the only player playing high press the whole time, bro. Corey Burke was our only um player playing. I think Corey Burke intent. Yeah, all right. Corey Burke. Thank you, British Groomers Bloomfield. All right, I don't know if I got that right. It goes back to show you what I was trying to explain earlier with the intensity of when you're trying to win the ball on the high press and then you get right into attack with the football. Corey Burke is one of those players who's good at that. He's constantly, but Corey Burke was like the only one pressing. It's like Corey Burke and Paul Hall had a like a secret meeting and like him told Corey Burke, yo, press. Like he was the only one pressing. The other players definitely didn't understand how to press. And I think Corey Burke has the engine. But I also don't want Corey Burke to do what he did in that game where he gave up the ball against El Salvador, where he was laying on his back and instead of kicking the ball out of bounds, he passed the ball back into the moving striker, and they scored on us. So we want Corey Burke to as well make better decision. Corey Burke is a player who deserves to be out there, but we need him to make better decision. Corey Burke, bless up yourself. Um, Bobby have not been the same since COVID, but if the team want to play like Paul Hall take on his football DNA, expect a more exciting football. Can't wait to see how. Yeah, bro. I agree with uh. I so I agree with Warren Webster there. That's that's what I said. I'm excited to see the friendly game against Peru, dude. I want to see Paul Hall, the great Paul Hall experiment, guys. Jamaica, I think the fans don't understand that we're going into a new phase right now, bro. We potentially might just end up seeing the exactly how the Jamaican team we dream of seeing how they play. That might happen. We might actually see the dream Jamaican team of how we wanted to see Jamaica playing attacking, fluent, expansive football. It might just happen. Pagan said, Burke, a one man press. Look fool under topper. Tutelage. Yeah, bro. Corey Burke was trying, but it wasn't happening. Siobhan Peart says, Chang and Zimenez have massive potential. They needed the right persons in their ears. They're young and need the development right now. Do take their game to the next level. All right. I seen Zimenez in the Mannings Cup and the Champions Cup. Guys, let's not rush this player. I think we don't want him to become the next schoolboy football where we hype him up and he doesn't make the transition. He looked like a boy, a man again amongst boys, but he has a lot to learn, bro. He has a lot to learn, bro. I agree that he's one of the top talents, but I've seen too much times where we hyped up Jamaican schoolboy footballers and they just haven't matriculated into the the player that we expect them to be. So I think let him play in the Premier League one more year, and he will and maybe he gets to start and he can play week in and week out because the Manning Cup and them, I don't think it's developing the players, bro, and it's giving people this false sense of evaluation of how we evaluating players. I want to see him build up his game, and I hope he looked back on things he can work on and come back and be better and then make the next step. But I don't want him to. I'm not rushing any more schoolboy football ballers to go in the senior team because it hasn't worked out for any of them. They all failed. I don't know any schoolboy footballer who just made the transition and just came in and just nailed down the position. I haven't seen it yet. Ricardo Robinson says Corey Burt need to learn from Antonio because yo, Ricardo, that's a big statement. Ricardo, that's a big statement, bro. Corey Burke, look at that comment. Corey Burke need to learn from Antonio because Corey Burke he has the physicality. The problem with Corey Burke is he doesn't know when to disperse his energy. He wastes energy pressing in situation where he cannot win the football or he's just wasting energy, over dribbling. He doesn't let the game come to him. That's the difference with a Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio runs, but he knows when to rest and he know what ball to attack. Big comment, bro. I think that makes a lot of sense. Real talk. Foreign Spider says Burke definitely have the engine, but the players have to press together. Single play. Yeah, all right. My playing time, Foreign Spider, my coach used to tell us to press in a diamond or a triangle. Always three players pressing at the same time. Not It's not that we're just pressing to get the football, you know. It's when you win the football in the press, you have two outlets. When you win the football, you have two outlets. Every time we're pressing, my coach always tell me create a triangle or a diamond. We're always trying to do that. And if you had a drone or something, you can see the different triangles building up all over the pitch. They're moving together. The different because we're players are looking at each other and we're going together. We're building up these three. So every time you press and you get the football, you have two outlets. Well, three, including yourself. You can keep it or you can pass it. The problem that Jamaica had was we're only pressing with one player. So even if we do create enough pressure or we win the football, we don't have any outlets. And I think Paul Hall understanding the press, you're gonna start seeing this. You're gonna start seeing three Jamaican players rushing the ball handler and closing down areas. And you can see that a lot of the British based players were getting frustrated when they realized that the Jamaican players didn't understand how to press. Like you would see a Gray go for the ball and you see him get frustrated because the other player didn't understand that. Just go and lock off the space and then so there was a lot of frustration there because of not understanding the game and what they needed to do. Siobhan Pierce said, I don't believe he should be playing Manning Cup. Well, it's not beneficial for him to be playing Manning Cup. I don't think so. Manning Cup is causing him to become too comfortable. Yeah, Manning Cup. I told you. I said he looked like a man amongst boys. I don't think Manning Cup is for him. And he needs to be starting in the Premier League. He needs to be starting in the Premier League and getting tested and proven week in week out. Then we can say he's one who's ready. But as of right now, he's we gotta wait a little bit. Give him a little bit more time, bro. Let him develop, bro. You see me? I seen it so many times. It's the same thing that's reaching Tyreek McGee right now. They overhype Tyreek McGee. They overhype Lamar Walker. Look at Junior Fleming's top schoolboy footballer. He's just making his way to France 7 years later. almost 8 years later, bro. So it's the people have to understand it takes time to develop, bro. It takes time to develop. And we need to develop our players. Schoolboy football is just the beginning. Not only that, Warren Webster is you should be developed at least to a certain level already before you hit schoolboy football, because it obviously shows that the development is not happening at the schoolboy football stage. So to me, schoolboy football is about results. It's about getting the result for your school. It's a scrappy. It's not necessarily the best schools that win schoolboy football, bro. It's the most the team that can scrap it out for 90 minutes at a time. Pagan say I saw the frustration on Andre Gray, Roof, and Morris's face when it's time to press. You saw that, Pagan, because the players around him didn't understand what to do to press. That's why Jamaican players were constantly getting burned out and not getting the football. It's that you're playing with a bunch of players who don't know when to press. Players that are gonna work out very well for Paul Hall is Javane Brown. When I play Javane Brown and Greg Lee, because you know what? Their recovery speed is very good. They can recover very well. They're very speedy on the football. They can run back and get back in position. Because you need that, you know. That's why a player like Alvas Powell couldn't survive in a team that Paul Hall is trying to build, because it's not he's not he's not quick enough. He's not quick enough. He's not quick enough, guys. He's not quick enough. And I'm looking forward, bro. Like as Warren Webster is saying, I'm looking forward for the big experiment on January 20th. I'm more excited about that game than the Mexico game, because if I see nothing working in that game, then that spells problems in the next game, because at the end of the day, I need to see what Paul Hall is trying to accomplish with this style of play. The coach should be the one telling the players how to come on for Spider Man. We didn't have a coach. For Spider, you know we didn't have a coach. You know, instead the players them did a coach themselves. Damari Gray, guys. The latest I've heard on Damari Gray is that around by the 17 or the 18, around by those times, he should be ready to go as far as documentation um is concerned. I don't know about his fitness. I don't work with the clubs. I don't get briefings from Everton. But I heard that his documentation should be in by around like the 17 or the 18, around that time. That's what someone has said to me like yesterday. So I'm looking forward for that, bro. For me, the Damari Gray thing, it's so unbelievable for me that I need to see it happen for me to start celebrating. Like, you remember how we used to need to see Kemar Roof at the airport? Me need to see Demari Gray at the airport and like him put up a video and say, yo, me dep on my way. Then me start celebrate that, because it's so unreal. Demari Gray is a heck of a player, bro. Demari Gray is a heck of a player, bro. He's so direct. Dude, Demari Gray would inspire Leon Bailey. You know why? Demari Gray and Leon Bailey are similar players. Demari Gray and Leon Bailey are similar players. That's why Demari Gray was in Germany as well. They love those kind of wingers. Demari Gray and Leon Bailey is that same kind of attacking direct player. But the problem is we don't get that direct player from Leon Bailey when he's playing for Jamaica. And I think if Demari Gray comes and start playing like that, and Leon Bailey sees that, I think it will be a competition. And I think Jamaica is the only one who will benefit. Imagine we have Leon Bailey and Demari Gray trying to outdo each other. Jesus Christ. That would be a sight to see. That would be, oh God, I would be exciting. Siobhan Peart says the reason why I'd I'd want Jimenez to be included in the Peru game is due to the only Javier, is a right back in the squad. Yeah, but when it's the finals of the Manning Cup and all those things, and you don't want him to get into a game like that and probably get injured, and he's gonna get plenty of time. Siobhan, and the Premier League are gonna start back soon. He's gonna get plenty of time. You can't hide today information travels so fast. If our players are good enough, they will be seen. So hopefully Paul Hall will keep a few young players and transition with the team. Yeah, I think so too, man. Bro, I think Paul Hall is a gift from God for the young players in Jamaica, because we will potentially, I don't think, listen, I think Paul Hall connection is goes bigger than QPR. I think young players in Jamaica, if you're good enough, Paul Hall is gonna get you an opportunity in Europe. I think if you're good enough, Paul Hall can say, you see, this player, give him a shot. Even tryouts. As much as tryouts, I think young players will even get more tryouts with Paul Hall being the coach. You see what I mean? So I think it's a good look. It's a good look. Paul Hall, bro. Paul Hall is the man for the job, bro. I support Paul Hall 150%. I've been calling for Paul Hall as the coach from the Gold Cup, and I still consider him to be the man for the job until he prove otherwise. You see what I mean? Until Paul Hall prove otherwise, Paul Hall is the man for the job. Young player. That's why I want a player like Busy Atkinson, those players to ball out. You see me? I want those players to perform very well. So that can give Paul Hall something to go back to England and say, listen, I have two young players, 19, 18, 20s, a Topi, a young defender. Give these guys a look in, have them come over for tryouts. I'm saying, man, it's a good look. I'm happy. I'm happy for these guys. And that's what I'm saying, guys. This is why I wanted to keep the thing positive around the team, especially with Paul Hall coming in right now. You know what I mean? I said this is the first show I'm really doing this year, and I didn't want to have to talk about Tapa again, but you know what I mean. Like he was so tied up into the team that we keep after going back to the discussion. I want to keep the discussion positive from here on out. Surround it. I think a lot of people misunderstood the first stream that I did today. I saw that people got offended and some people got angry, but I think they misunderstood. What I'm saying is we shouldn't find just every little thing to create a big argument with the JFF. At one point we can say we know they haven't done a great job, but every little thing, dog, we can just find every little thing for, because I don't have any animosity to anybody, any other YouTubers are. I think people just get personal and they get angry and they get like, someone asleep on floor, and I want to, I'm like, no, guys, it's not even that serious. I'm just trying to change the narrative of the negative. A coach who's just coming in, I don't think Paul Hall deserves the negative publicity right now. Let him prove himself, and as I said, I will be the first one to jump out the window if Paul Hall is not performing. I'm gonna say he's not performing. But them want we come on and say that our past head coach was doing a great job under my over my dead body. That's not happening. It was a terrible one, and we moved on from that. No, I'm looking towards the positives of what Paul Hall has to offer. That's why I don't think people should take the time to just nitpick every single thing about the JFF. Oh, them never play against Tottenham. Oh, they never had a real team. I never had a team. Tottenham not even did have on no jersey. I did shirt and skins them a play. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm just saying, like, can the discussion be moved to something more progressive? I don't have any qualms or any, you know what I mean, uh, any animosity to people, but people get angry and they start, fighting themselves. But I think people has to, you have to understand, bro. Like when people come and take shots on YouTube, it's like, bro, that doesn't hurt my feelings. Like when the computer turn off, we're living our lives. You see what I mean? When the computer turn off, everybody gonna work and you have to pay your bills and them thing there. If you see some people they behind YouTube or thump up the screen or something, I'm like, dude, when this thing turns off, we're back to getting things done. So I don't get offended by that. As I said, I put Jamaica football first when it comes on YouTube. I will have a discussion with anybody, but I think um we have to know when to stand down, and we have to know when we have made progress. I think YouTube, we have made a lot of progress in shifting the JFF into a new gear, or a new way of doing things, or a new way of evaluating themselves, or a new way. I think we have made progress, and I think the JFF has made progress as well. Give them some credit, dude. Give them some credit. I think they gave that last coach everything he needed. Not saying they were perfect, but hey, if we had a better coach, we would at least have 14 points right now. You know what I mean? What more you want? A bigger private jet? Like, what we need to make the dumpling them thick off it if he played it like, bro, you know what I mean? When you're a coach, you get the players them, you're a coach, man. A lot of times evil teams where the coach where the players are not getting everything, sometimes that kind of galvanize the players and give the players a certain fighting energy. But the players couldn't get that fighting energy because one player wouldn't even know if they're playing the next game. A man don't even know if he might get called back the next match. A man don't know if the coach narrate him. Like, you know what I mean? It was just all these stupid things that was holding back our team. We had this person just destroying our team. And we said, yeah, you know what I mean? So anybody want to take up for him? No, and said, yo, the man, if you get him money, I don't care what you guys said. I think he shouldn't get all that money. What are we paying him for? Is I don't know if it's any Jamaican taxpayers' money going towards this man getting paid for doing a terrible job. You don't get rewarded around here for doing a terrible job, and it was a terrible banged up job. We got 7 points from 8 games, and I hope that there's a clause in the contract stating if you didn't produce a certain amount of points, your contract can be terminated, because if that's in the contract, he can't win in court. I hope the JFF had some kind of stipulation or some clause in the contract stating if you don't give us a certain amount of points at this stage, we can terminate your contract, and you're no longer due for a certain amount of money. I hope that they were smart enough to do this, because it would be hard to pay a man to do nothing. What would you pay him to do? He was just paid to assemble a team before every game. He wasn't in Jamaica coaching up a team in the meantime. So it's like, it's common sense, bro. I'm not gonna bash the JFF. I'm talking about the JFF have money. The JFF need to pay him. No, 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 no. The JFF need to find a way and not waste any more money. You know what I mean? And waste any more. Let's save the money to pay Paul Hall. You see what I mean? Let's save this money to pay Paul Hall and develop our youth footballers and move forward. Not waste the money on a coach who did a banged up job already. That's what we need to do. Save the money for the youth progression going forward. Yo, bless up yourself, Pagan, everybody, Siobhan, Webster, everybody in the chat. Foreign Spider was another show. Um, not much on Jamaican football. I think I will be offline until the game approaches closer to the game around the 20th. Then we start looking into some starting lineups and what team we should see out there, and hopefully we hear something from Paul Hall as well. Surrounding what I would like to hear from Paul Hall is there any players on his radar that he thinks should be coming in, new players out of England that wasn't in the previous setup. That would be nice hearing from Paul Hall again before those games. Just a little briefing on what's happening from the coach, do things a bit different, little more transparency. But bless up everybody and another great show, and have a peaceful one. All right.
pussy tip me a beg you. Me tell you, say the people